So hi, welcome to the Good Nights Podcast. We're here with Sky from Super Whatevr. We're gonna ask him some questions. I'm gonna start. What inspired you to start the band?
That's a good question. Um, I okay. You guys are gonna get some like deep,
Oh,
deep
Oh
info.
my god.
yeah.
So
Okay.
some info that I don't like sharing. Um,
Oh, you don't have to if you don't want to.
no, I do want to.
Okay, all right. Cool.
I was in a band before this, which people can do their research and find out. But I was a bassist my whole life. I've been playing bass since I was 10, and so this is the first project that I wanted to start my own thing. I'd been in a lot of different bands where I was treated pretty poorly, and it's just kind of like different personalities, obviously creative differences, but also like some people were just kind of like not kind people.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to start my own project where like those type of people didn't ruin my opportunity, because there'd be people who just had um, bad like communication skills and would like inadvertently hurt people's feelings, and we would lose opportunity. And so I was like, okay, I just wanted, like, I feel like if I was manning the ship, this could go a lot further, just because I I don't know. I wouldn't say they have like bad people skills, but I really pride myself in my people skills. And so yeah, I wanted to start my own thing, and I had already written 4 songs, which is pretty much the whole EP, other than the demo, which I added later,
Okay.
right before it came out. That will work for food. I wrote that EP when I was 21.
Okay.
I recorded it and released it when I was 23, and that's right before I got signed to Hopeless.
Mhm.
But yeah, the whole point of me starting Super Whatevr was to, like, this is my first band. This
Mhm.
was my way of doing it my way. This is my
Yeah.
way of kind of, it was also my last attempt. So this was going to be, if you talk to a lot of artists, you'll hear like people talking about like their kind of last ditch effort in the industry. Like, this was my chance to prove to myself that I could do it for myself. And if it didn't work this time, I would go shave my face and get a sit down job, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think
Oh, yeah.
I think it's working out.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys are doing like super good, and yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's doing pretty crazy stuff right now.
It is.
I'm really excited.
You should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good for you guys.
So, what is your writing process like, and how do you think it's changed since like your first EP?
Y'all are pro. My
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I love this. Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was just kind of like stoked.
Oh yeah, it's okay. So, what is your writing process like, and how do you think it's changed since your first EP?
EP. Okay. I used to just write words down because I wasn't that good. Sorry, I'm like holding.
It's all good.
It's okay.
It's all good.
I used to just write words down. I have been writing poetry for years and years, and it took a friend being like, "Oh, look, you can play guitar to this." Like I said, I play bass, so I learned guitar about 4 years ago, and I play in open tuning. And so playing in, it's called DADGAD, which is like a D modal open scale.
Mhm.
It makes it a lot easier because you only have to have like one chord phrasing on guitar. And so I started writing just poems and then trying to like shove them in to like chord structures. So like Someone Somewhere Somehow is like that swing meter, but I didn't know it was going to fit into a song. I just wrote that poem. Actually, I was at my deli job, and I came back to work and showed. I like went to take out the trash, wrote that, and then walked back and showed my coworker, and he was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" But yeah, so it just started out with poetry, and then I slowly was like, okay, I'm finding the chord progressions I like, which you'll see a lot in the first record. It's very like D to G. And so I knew that it was like simple chords, simple melodies. I'm new at this. I'm just going to write like Catherine with a K is very simple D to G progression. Yeah, so that's how it started. But now I'm getting into a place where I've been doing a lot of collaborations and a lot of stuff that I'll be releasing soon. But a lot of it's more like writing intentionally for a song. So the lyrics still just kind of flow out of me, but it's very like structured. And I actually feel really confident about that because I used to be able to, like Someone Smart Somehow or like Benjamin Alphabet, I could write a million words to say one thing, but I feel like I'm starting to write less words and kind of emit the same emotion. So I'm feeling really confident about that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Good. That's awesome. Good to hear. Genuinely.
So I feel like we kind of touched on this a little bit, but I feel like I want to go more in depth with it. So how do you feel about the rate you've grown since your first EP?
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how to equate it. I feel like we're growing fast, but I have this bad habit of looking at other bands that are bigger than me and seeing their track records and their growth record, like just growth tracks, and being like, okay, am I growing at a good pace? And then I look at bands smaller than me. I'm like, oh, these bands have, been doing it for 5 years and they're not even where I'm at. Like, obviously I am so appreciative, and like, I know that I am privileged being a cis white male from Southern California, but I was like, okay, I want to admit that, and I want to always be honest that like I have been given opportunity, and I think that's a big reason why I want to be a part of like the LGBTQ community and the just people of color who don't have as much opportunity, because I feel like it's only right, and it just makes me feel like I'm helping. But anyway, I feel good about it. I feel like this year was the first year that we started making money, and I've never really like made money before at Super Whatevr. This headlining tour was the first time, and so like I think from an outside perspective, it looks like, oh my gosh, people this year have been like, you're blowing up. I've heard you on the radio. You're blowing up. I saw you on TikTok. And it's funny because I'm like, I know artists that I'm like, they're blowing up. They've blown up. And I see me, I'm like, I think I'm growing pretty quickly, but I don't have that sensation of like, wow, like things are being like, it feels like everything I've worked for has been met with opportunity. And so it doesn't feel as much of like I'm blowing up. It feels like it's grown pretty rapidly, but it just feels like I've put a lot of work into it to get to this place, and my team and my manager and the bands that have supported me. So what do you think? Can I ask, am I allowed to ask that question? What
course.
do you think?
Yeah, awesome.
I think that you guys are growing, like you said, at a very fast rate. Like, looking just like at this album and what you've put out, I think that you guys have, I'm going to say it, blown up. Like, at least in the perspective of where you guys were with the first album and where you're at with the second album.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I definitely, I agree. I'm going to piggyback on what he said. You guys are definitely like blowing up, because compared to what you've done, I don't know, I'm stuttering, but like you guys are doing great. Yeah, you guys are doing great, and you guys are getting bigger, and it's what you guys deserve, genuinely.
Yeah. I agree, because like the last time I saw you, I feel like things have changed so much since I saw you live. I feel like it's just so many. I don't know. It's just, I do feel like you, like everything has grown, and you deserve it. And I just think I think it's great. Yeah. Anyways,
I mean,
I think the funny thing about even back, if I'm like looking down at my feet right now, I'm like, okay, do I feel like a big band? No. Do I feel like a middle small band? Sure, I'm growing. I'm bigger than what I was. But then I think just back to that Set It Off tour, I'm like, I'm so much bigger than that. Like,
exactly.
The amount of people in the rooms, the amount of people singing our songs, the amount of people who came to VIP. Like, I got to do VIP. That's like incredible. And like people were excited to be a part of that. Like, I've never had that before. Lines out the door. Like, that is new, but it's like everything feels like it's moving at just a slow enough pace to where it's like, okay, this is the natural progression, right? But then I look back and I'm like, oh, whoa, I've grown a lot.
Yeah. Almost like the calm before the storm, I would say.
Yeah, you brought up the Super Whatevr tour. Like, you were on tour with Super Whatevr opening for them a year ago, and this past year you went on your first full U.S. headlining tour.
That's enough.
So
I mean, I remember specifically during the tour, like I remember like the little group I was in, we were all crying during your songs.
Sorry.
But yeah, I remember it being I remember everyone was very like hyped for your set. I remember that. So
so moving along, what does your band name mean?
The good questions. It's funny, no one asked me these questions. I'm like, doesn't someone want to know? Like my favorite band was The Chariot, and I was like, I am going to know everything about The Chariot. I'm going to know what every single word means, what every single member's middle name is. Like, I was obsessed. Mm-hmm. And I feel that we're getting there, but like no one asked, like people were like, Super Whatevr, that's funny. I'm like,
we need to know the deep questions.
Okay.
We ask them here.
Exactly.
Thank you. So my band name is Super Whatevr, and it has a couple different meanings. One, I really liked the idea. It's kind of like grown into different meanings, but originally there's this artist, 1994 ! They only have music on Bandcamp. You should go look them up. They opened for Algernon Cadwallader, Snowing, and Joyce Manor, which was a tour I saw in San Diego when I was in high school. I was blown away by the opener, 1994. It's just a drummer and a guitarist, which is funny because that's what Super Whatevr is now. But blew my mind. Their lyrics are super introspective and amazing. 1994 split off. The lead singer started a like acoustic thing called Good Crime in Philadelphia, and then their drummer moved to Europe and started a project called N-A-H. It's just amazing music. But Good Crime, he released his first album called Super Whatevr, and I wanted to be a part of that like scene. It was like, it's referred to as like Twinkle Daddy Scrams, just emo music. Like the 1975 talks about Algernon Cadwallader. Like it's just like legends in the like Midwest emo is a term for it too. But I was super inspired by them. I kind of came after them. I wanted to show my appreciation for that scene. So I used that name, and actually reached out to the lead singer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can use it. That's cool."
Wow.
But I took off one of the E's on Whatevr, just so it wouldn't. I don't want to copy, but I was like, I'm going to pay homage to this artist. But then I really liked the idea because Super Whatevr in its like roots is a suicide awareness and prevention project. Okay. And so I wanted, there's like this like magnificence of like something being super important, and then whatever, like not of no importance. And it's like, I feel like that it helped me understand and embody depression and like people struggling with like those tendencies, because it's like for my cousin and for myself, because I've struggled myself, my cousin who I wrote about in Someone Somewhere Somehow, is about one of those things where it's like I had no idea that he was sad. I had zero idea. Something that is super important, but he treated it as if it didn't matter. And obviously in his heart he didn't realize how much we cared and the significance of that. And so I wanted the words to kind of reflect that, like, this is something that is super important, but I'm going to kind of hide the meaning, and people who are looking for it will be able to find it. So that's kind of where that came from. And then I took off one of the E's, and I just like numbers. So that's 12 letters. The first record was 12 songs. And Never Nothing is 12 letters. And then Melancholyism was 13 letters, which ended up changing. I changed the name to Don't You Want to Be Glad, but that's 13 letters, and we have 12 tracks, and we're going to be releasing a 13th track, like little secret stuff. But yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. We're learning.
Yeah, I had no clue that. Wow. Okay, that was awesome. Too. Oh my god.
Yeah, go tell everyone else, because I hear stuff about bigger bands that have these like secret, deeper meanings, and I hear it from the fans, but like no one's asked me yet. But I'm always like, I hide so many deeper meanings. I have like EP artwork in like music videos, and like I'm wearing a 1994 shirt in the Bloomfield music video. Like I hide stuff like that, but like no one ever asked. So I'm like, I guess I'll just make myself excited.
I respect it, seriously.
Yeah,
I love
the
that.
amount of the dedication that you put into it and the thought. That's crazy.
Hopefully now that it's out there, people start asking those questions.
Yeah. I'm like hiding Easter eggs for the one kid that was like me.
Okay, I like that.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, honestly.
So this is another deep question, but so I feel like your the sounds on every album have kind of changed a little bit, like even if it's just a little bit. But so do you think the next album will sound different too?
Yeah, sure. I I've always wanted to make something big, and I came from like, I didn't come from money, so I didn't have many like connections to make like a big sound or like a big video production or big stuff like that. And so Hopeless stepping in really helped. But they're an indie, and I still am not like money's not being dumped into us. I'm still using my resources just as much as they are theirs. And so a lot of that came with the sound. So like the EP I recorded in my friend's garage in Costa Mesa. And then the first album, we did a GoFundMe to pay for the flights to get to Tennessee. And then Hopeless paid for that first record that we did with my friend Seiji. Seiji Inoue, who actually taught me how to play bass. Like, he is one of my close friends. He recorded he recorded Never Nothing.
Oh.
We did that in his 2-story house, recorded drums upstairs, guitars downstairs. It was really fun. I love him. I love him like crazy. He was actually at my wedding, but love him. And then this new record recorded with one of the people that Hopeless recommended, which was Courtney Ballard, who did like Water Parks and a couple artists like that with kind of like a bigger sound. And so it's kind of been like opportunity is growing as I grow, and it would be shameful if I like turn that down. So it's like, yes, the sound will change because opportunity is changing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that'd be my answer. It's like, I'm not like actively like, I need this. I was like, I don't want to rely on guitar as much because I'm becoming a better musician. That's why the new record has less guitar, because I'm like, I'm not a guitar. I was never a guitarist. So I don't consider like, ooh, this record needs a lot of guitar. I was like, I'm a bassist. I want to go back to rooting this record in bass and drums, and then like add guitar as a textural note. So yeah, I'm obsessed with creating, and so whatever resources I have, I'm going to use, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That was a great answer. I don't know, your answers are amazing. Okay.
Thank you. So, we also didn't lose fans. If I would have if we put out this record and everyone was like, this record sucks, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll like rethink some things. But every album, people have been like, I love this record. So I'm like,
yeah.
I guess I'll just keep doing what I want.
Yeah, you guys have your core following, and I don't think you're gonna lose them anytime soon.
I think that's good. Like, because you just kind of do what you want, and we're just all the fans are like, yeah, this is good. I like this. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of trust with Super Whatevr.
Yeah.
You know.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, to be completely honest, for me, you haven't put out like a bad song. So like, yeah, that helps. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So what artists would you say are your biggest inspirations when you write music?
I actually just made a TikTok about this, which used to be
I saw it.
A cheesy sentence, but now it's getting cooler. So in my old project, I worked with a gentleman named Rob Kanelski and his like right-hand man, Dave Baker. They were two people that were Rob did helped with vocal production on Believe by Justin Bieber. Like, these are people he just did. You'll see him behind Billie Eilish when she received her Grammys.
Damn.
Is that for music? But he's like incredible.
I think
he's incredible, and I learned a lot from him and Dave back in the day. Very sweet people, but I was very fortunate to work with them, and so they taught me a lot about the music industry, and I feel like I have a leg up just because of the information that they imparted on us. That's just such wisdom. But he told me that when making an album, it's good to take a couple different influences and bring those like just iconic records to the table that like shaped a generation or like change something, if not for like society, change something for you, and take those and kind of like keep those in the back of your mind as you make your music. So I'll just write songs, but then when it comes to recording, I'll like have these albums that I'm directly influenced by, and I still have my voice and I still have my hands, so I'm always going to make something that is unique, but you can start to hear those influences on the record when you know this information. So that changes as well per record. I think that's really important as you develop your sound. But on my first, on the EP, I just recorded an EP and wasn't really thinking about this. But when it came to an album, first record, the 3 albums that I brought to the table when recording that record was Cope by Manchester Orchestra, Thank You Happy Birthday by Cage the Elephant,
Ooh,
and then what's it called? Oh my gosh, how am I blanking on this? Ozzy Osbourne's what's his band? Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
It's okay.
It's all good.
I can look it up if you want.
Oh, I don't even want you to. Ozzy Osbourne's band. Oh God. It's the self-titled album. It's purple on black. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
Crazy Train. Not that album, but like that you know what I mean?
That sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. Black Sabbath. Oh my gosh.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath.
Black Sabbath self-titled because I didn't want to be too like indie rock. I wanted like some dark stuff, so that's why the record goes in kind of a darker direction.
Okay.
And then this new record, the 3 albums were Blonde by Frank Ocean. It was kind of just Rex Orange County in general, and then a lot of Nine Inch Nails.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that like industrial sound and like We Sleep We Dream.
Yeah.
And in Life, a lot of that was inspired by those sounds. So, yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So,
awesome.
Speaking,
I'm going to give you a lot of long-winded answers. I hope that's okay.
It's
oh,
okay.
that's fine. Yeah, that's great.
we got a bunch of questions, and we wanted the big answers. So, speaking of your new album, I wanted to ask, why are there periods after every single song title? Is there a reason for that?
Yeah. So, thanks for asking.
Yeah,
so I'm really into symbolism. You're just gonna get every secret to everything.
I love it.
I'm really into symbolism, and I don't know if you noticed, but the first record, I'm gonna take it a step back.
Okay.
The first album's called Never Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong? It's nothing. It's never nothing. Pay attention to the people you love, and dig deeper when someone says that they're okay, because sometimes people aren't okay. Second record was going to be called Melancholyism, which is like, okay, now I've grown from this place of not being able to share how I'm feeling. Now I know how I'm feeling, but I don't know what to do with that information. And so this was my process of healing. And I literally thought of this to heal. I was like, I'm unhappy with myself. I'm depressed. I'm a lot of self-hatred. And I developed, it's called Harmo CD, like back in the day when my parents divorced, but I was struggling and I needed help. I needed therapy. I needed something. And so I was like, I'm going to make 3 albums to kind of push me in a direction to show my growth to someone else. So someone else can see how therapy works and how I can get help, get healing. And so the second record was called Melancholyism, which I changed to Don't You Want to Be Glad? Because Melancholyism was like somber and sad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to show people that I want to grow. So that Don't You Want to Be Glad is like, why am I still sad? If I'm trying to heal and I'm still depressed, like, I thought I wanted to be happy, but why am I still like causing issues with my friends? Why am I still making bad decisions and connecting with the wrong type of people? That type of stuff. So the next record is going to be a self-titled, which is like, okay, I've finally made it to a place that I feel healthy and whole.
Okay.
Good.
Anyway.
This is so deep. It's going to make me cry.
Thanks. Never Nothing. I don't know if you saw the artwork, but it has the braille over the hands. That's the kind of the concept of it is a language that you can read if you understand the language. Mm-hmm. And so that was like what Never Nothing was, is like, okay, people are struggling. I'm struggling. I don't understand why I'm struggling. You know, like there are, I don't have the emotional wholeness and the emotional intelligence to understand what I'm feeling. Like my parents were verbally abusive and borderline negligent. Like I wasn't raised to understand my feelings. So the dots were like, I don't understand it. I can't read it, but I know I want to learn it so I can figure it out for myself. So that's what therapy is for me. And so the second album, I took that concept of the dots, and on the album artwork, it's the connect the dots. So it's like, okay, now all I need is the tool, and I can connect these for myself. Like I can take those initial Braille dots, and now I can put them into like a tangible form. So connect the dots. If you look at the dots on the back of the vinyl, it connects to make the sideways smiley face with a question mark.
Okay.
Which is
Wow.
don't you want to be glad? That's what the smiley question mark is, like, don't you want to be glad?
Oh, yeah.
And then on the inside of the vinyl, there is a connect the dots that follows a poem about me kind of coming back to my faith. And it's the torn at both sides, I reach for the door, I don't, blah, blah, blah. It's that poem. And it's about finding that melancholism. But if you connect those dots, it makes a wishbone, which is my symbolism for divorce, because when you pull on both sides, you end up with one being larger, and I didn't know which side to choose for my parents. So, and I have that tattooed to my body, which I tattooed on my body during Never Nothing on my chest, and I took pictures of that, and that was kind of symbolizing album 2. So the dots represent the smile with a question.
Okay.
Wow.
I like that.
This is insane. I'm like,
yeah, I
learning
love this. And before we move on to the next question, I just want to thank you for being like so open about your past experiences and mental health as a whole.
Of course.
I seriously just respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad it helps people, because it's like the only way that I've known how to get healthy is through vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So I do it mostly for myself, but the fact that it like helps other people is incredible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have no idea just like how inspiring it is, like for real.
Yeah, genuinely.
Thank
like,
you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
It's okay. Keep going.
Okay, so the next question is, shoot, okay, somebody freaking moved it. Give me 1 second.
It's okay.
Sorry, I cut one of the questions out because he answered the thing about the artwork.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No, it's no problem at all. Okay, so this is a personal question for me. Will you do another track like Eternity Complex? Because like it's so good and it hit me like really hard, and I was wondering if you were gonna do that again, something similar to that on the next album.
My response is, do you follow me on Tumblr?
No, I need to.
Eternity Complex, I wrote in 2018.
Okay.
And it's been on the Super Whatevr, spelled Super Whatevr.tumblr.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's been on there forever, but I usually just go back to that Tumblr and pick a poem and put it on a record. So Someone Somewhere Somehow is on that. Benjamin Alphabet's on that. I have like a huge beard in that video. I'm thinking next record I'll do the first poem, which is I don't remember what it's called, but it's about kind of the whole like embodiment of struggling with suicidal thoughts and correlating it back to war and things like that.
Okay.
So might do that one. Might do Space Cadet. I have a couple different ones that I'm toying with the next record, but yes, that's the plan. I've done it every album. So the EP Will Work for Food and Benjamin Alphabet were from that. The first album, what was from that? You can go find it if you look at it. I usually pull from my old poem page on Tumblr. So yeah.
Awesome. So do you think that would become like just a staple for your albums? Do you always just have a poem that you pulled back from your past?
Yes, every record is going to have a poem, an instrumental, a short thing, and I usually write 10 songs, a poem, and an instrumental.
Okay, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was wondering, like, so how did your feature with Lost Boy happen on I Want to Be Cool?
That's a good question. I can't rap. I mean, I might have a song coming out with rap on it, but
okay. Wait, would you be the one rapping?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh my god.
I don't know if it'll. Well, yeah.
So
we'll
exciting.
see if it comes out. We'll see if I feel confident enough. So, Lost Boy is the first person that I've ever co-written a song with, ever. other than Courtney in the studio, first person I've ever written a song with. So that's not true. I actually wrote a song with Austin right before that. From Waterparks. That was the first person. Sorry, that was a lie. Second person I ever written a song with. Austin wasn't a feature though, obviously. He's not Better.
Yeah.
But if you listen to Better, I feel like you can kind of hear like the Waterparks influence of like the melodies, like the da 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 da. Like it's very like he puts a lot of movement in his melodies. I don't. So like Catherine with a K has like no movement in the melody. It's like da 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 da. It's like very stagnant.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Lost Boy. We wrote a thing. I really like Frank Ocean. I really like Rex Orange County. I really like people who are like this like suave but nerdy R&B thing that I don't know how to describe, but I really like that. I like that style of sound. And so we were talking about that, and I was like, I also want to make a song on this record that addresses the fans, because I feel like I've written so much music about me. I've written like the EP's about me and relationship. The record's about me and relationship. I wanted to make an album. I wanted to make a song that was directed to the fans. Of like, hey, this sounds different. You notice that. How do you feel about that? Am I still doing something respectable? Am I still doing something cool? Am I still doing something that like you even want to hear? Because at this point, I didn't know if people were going to accept this new record, Don't You Want to Be Flat. And so we wrote a rap because I was like, I just want to write something nerdy and like vibey. And we had the track, and I was like, this is just beautiful. I love how like the drums have like this latency that's really pretty. It's like kind of off. They're off the grid, and it's really nice. So I actually went to record the rap that we had written together, and the name drops. It's supposed to be very like tongue in cheek. Like, I'm not a rapper. Like, I'd like to be like Frank and Drake and Billy. Like, Frank Ocean and Drake are like esteemed rappers. Billie Eilish is like a little white girl, and obviously like she is like, she has respect in the rap community, but that's me like not knowing like that obviously like she's different. Like, out of the three of them, she's the one that doesn't fit in, but I'm like, I want to be like these rappers, but I'm like, I don't know who I'm talking about. Or like the like Post Malone reference or stuff like that. I wanted it to come across as like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to use the right terms. Like, I say money moves it, or he says money moves at some point, which is like a Cardi B reference. Like, I'm like trying to like embody rap culture, but I'm just missing all marks. Anyway, I tried to record the rap. Like, I went into the studio, I recorded the rap for myself, I rapped it, and I was like, I sound horrible.
No.
Like, I don't know how to make this sound cool. Would he be down to hop in the studio to record it? And we hit up a couple different people. We actually hit up Dominic Fike, who was I don't know if you've heard his name. He was at the time he was a lot smaller. He's really big now, but he's with like the Brockhampton crew and all those people. But I really liked his single, and it was right when it came out. I was like, let's hit him up. Let's see if he's down. He didn't respond, but I was like, wait, you know what? What if Lost Boy did it? Like, what if he was into it? And so we hit him up, and he's like, I'd love to. And I think it turned out amazing. Like, I think that is the like unsung hero of the record. I think that is like the vibiest, prettiest song on the album.
Definitely.
That and Melancholies, I'm sure, like a similar emotional range. But yeah, that's kind of how it turned out. Was I didn't feel comfortable rapping it, and so, alas, the first Super Whatevr feature, and now I'm working on 7 right now. Feature like
7 features.
7
Wow.
collabs.
Holy shit.
Wait, can you like leak any names? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tell us.
The ones that are confirmed right now, there's Mark Hoppus.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's huge.
That's big.
Yeah, that is huge.
I'm very fortunate to have that.
Congrats
to
on
have
that.
him as a mentor. Now, during tour, I tweeted at him, and he was like, "Cool, let's make a song."
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, insane. I'm working on a song with Marco. That's the one that I'm going to be rapping on. Marco, he opened for me in New York. He's a good friend. I'm working on a song with Hush, which is his name is Laban. His artist name is Hush. He was actually the guitarist of my old band when I played bass, and he started his new project. And I was like, I want to like, he deserves so much, and so I'm like, I want to make a song with you. I have a little platform. Like, let's bring you in. I have a song coming out with Vanes, who's a new artist on Hopeless Records. I have a song with. I'm talking to Dallin Weeks from IDK House.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
That's it's like we haven't really worked though. We're just talking about it. I'm talking with Josh from Bad Flower about a song, but we're like those two. I don't know if they're ever gonna happen.
Yeah, just in the conversation phase.
Okay.
And I have a couple others that those two. There's like a song on the table, but we haven't worked on them. And then there are a couple other people where it's just at like the email phase where we're just sending emails back and forth.
Okay.
So, yeah, but there's like a lot of stuff I'm working on.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats. That's like
congratulations.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I think our fans are going to be really blown away because all the songs are completely different. So,
as a fan, I am blown away.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah.
I think we all are.
So it's that type of thing where I'm like, that's when I start to be like, oh gosh, I'm getting big opportunities. Like I'm blowing up on the back end. Like people are saying yes to me that would normally say no. Like this is growing really quickly. But like then I look at our Instagram, I'm like, we have 16,000 followers. Like that's not like the friends that I'm talking to have like 300,000, 500,000. I'm like, I still feel small. Yeah. But my opportunities are big. So this must be growing really quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
You
know? So how do you feel about the reception to your newest album?
Great. Awesome. Yeah, great. The end. Just kidding.
You can't do that.
I was ready to quit around that time. Like I was ready to be really done. I didn't know if I was going to make that record just because the album before we were doing a 4-piece and the original people I let go just through different reasons that don't need to be said, but I let them go. And then it was like, I started getting tours really quickly. So I needed people to tour with. And so I just asked random friends from different friend groups. And, you know, when you put a bunch of people in a car for a month, you really figure people out. So these people who were like kind of good friends became like either best friends or like people who really didn't like me, which is okay. It's not like people who I tell this to, they're like, oh, you're so nice, they must have been mean. But I'm like, no, you heard it in my songs. Like I was unhealthy and I was trying to grow. Like I wasn't the best me. I don't think I could have been nicer to these people in the past. I don't think I was rotten, but I think that, you know, my intentions of like how long I wanted them in the project could have been, a lot of people got their feelings hurt when I was like, cool, thank you for playing that tour with me. And they're like, can I come on another? And I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to go on the next one. So I don't know what to tell you. And people will be disappointed and things like that. Cause everyone wants, you know, people who play music want to tour. Yeah. And, you know, dollar amounts, like I said, I started making money this year. So dollar amounts weren't always the most amazing. And people had these like ideas of how much they would make and things like that. And so at that point I was like, I'm done. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I can't do this with a full band because I have all these people that I'm paying every penny to. I'm not making any money. I'm paying myself back for what I put into it. Everyone else is. I'm paying, and everyone's still disappointed that they're not getting paid enough. I'm like, I am bleeding. I have nothing here. Super Whatevr, you know, everyone's saying it's growing like crazy, but like I have nothing to show for it. Like I'm still borrowing money from my wife's mom. Like this isn't a livelihood. I'm 26. Like I want to have a family. Like I need to do something. And so I was talking to Chase about that, and I was like, hey, like, would you be interested in like just being me and you? And like, maybe I'll make the new record by myself because I want to prove to myself that I can make an album for myself. And Chase is such a sweetheart. He was like, yeah, man, like, I just want to be a part of this. I just want to be involved. Like, I see something here, and I just want to let you have that space to create and like let me just help. I just want to tour and I just want to be a drummer. Like, I want to make money doing this, and like, we get along. So like, let's make it happen. And so, yeah, the new record kind of, I don't know. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, yeah.
It did.
All your answers are so interesting. I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
You got a lot of cool stories to tell, and you're sharing them all
Definitely.
here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Awesome.
I don't know. Did that answer the question? What was the? Can you repeat the question one more time?
The question was
Just so I
like,
can, like,
the
tie it up.
reception to your newest album.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So, I do this with my wife a lot, and she's like, "Oh my god, bring it back."
It's so good.
The point of all that being, I was done. I was ready to be done. I didn't care if people liked it per se. I needed to make something for myself that was honest, and I needed to make something for myself that wasn't like impeded by someone being like, we need this guitar riff, we need this drum thing, like it has to be this way. I was like, I wanted to just breathe, and I wanted to just live, and I wanted to just exist. And so right when I released the first single, the day before the first single, I teased it, and that post got like 3,500 likes, and I was like, people are so excited for the record. And I dropped the first single, and like, it did not do well. Better. Like, the reception was way smaller than I expected. The likes, responses, listens were way smaller than I expected. And I was like, well, maybe I lost all the Movements fans. Like, maybe I lost all the kids that are into like the more like kind of like the alternative scene. Like, maybe I lost those fans, but like, my fans are getting, I feel like I have a younger fan base from the Waterparks tour, and I feel like these kids are just dedicated. And like the average of my fan base age went a lot lower. Because my fans were like, I'm 26, they're like around the same age as me. And then, after that Waterparks tour, they got a lot younger. And I was like, I think that's who's left, is the people who are like, the people who really are into like a more produced sound, and like people who can respect that and enjoy it. And so I released it, and it felt like I kind of like dug my own grave. I was like, okay, are people going to like this? And then a song got on the radio, and got on like online radio and my local radio station. And then it got on like a ton of radio stations. And then it got on a ton of playlists. And then the second song we released did the exact same thing. And then the third song we released did the exact same thing. I was like, whoa, like, this is big.
Damn.
Like, really big.
Yeah.
Better hit 1 million streams in like a quarter of the time it took Catherine with a K to hit 1 million streams. I'm like, wow, like, this is growing way, way, way faster. Like, I might not have those initial fans, but like the people that are here, Super Whatevr is their favorite band now. Like, I have real like dedicated fans. So I lost kind of like the kids that thought it was cool to like Super Whatevr, and now I have fans that are like, I love Super Whatevr. So it feels really nice. Yeah. Long story short, it feels really nice to have that.
Good.
I think you'd rather have the core fan base than people that just think it's cool to like a certain band.
Well, the moment you
like
change your sound,
around.
they're going to run away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've got a dedicated group that loves everything that you put out. So.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So recently you actually tweeted out that you had 3 new remixes. Can you tell us anything about that?
Can you get all my secrets?
You don't have to leak it if you don't want to.
No one ever asks, so I never get the opportunity to. I love leaking stuff.
Okay. Awesome.
You did it.
I've literally, like, in Instagram Lives, I've played almost every single new song. I just play it, and then I'll get, like, a couple people to watch, usually on my personal, so not all the Super Whatevr fans see it, but, like, I'll leak it to my small little group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 3 new songs, 3 new remixes coming out. Hopefully 3. I think 3.
Okay.
Shooting for 3, but we have the 2 Melancholias ones with Veins and my buddy Tyler, 4 names. And then the next one coming out, I don't know if anyone knows Jordy Signs. He played bass for... Oh, I don't think anyone would know him. He played bass for the Headliner tour 2 years ago. So when I played to, like, no one. He's amazing. His wife, Emily Signs, did photography for our Headliner.
Oh, wow. Nice.
But Jordy is an incredible artist. Everyone should go listen to his band. His project. It's a solo project. Jordy's Saenz. I I love him. I asked him to do a remix, and he said yes. So that one's coming out next. And then while I was on tour with Chapel, they said they would do one. So I don't know if Carter is going to finish it, but I sent him the vocal stems yesterday. But then they just posted that their computer is broken. Yeah. So, so I think that'll be the one after. And then MC4D that did a remix with Water Parks is going to be doing one. So Melancholism, So Am I, Life, Better, in that order. And then I've been speaking to Lil Aaron about potentially doing a feature on Melancholism, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So that's what's in the works. It might all come out. None of it might come out, but that's the plan.
Awesome. Wow.
Damn.
Cool.
Looking forward to that Life one. That's actually my favorite song off the new album. So
thank you.
Yeah.
So you emo. So emo.
Yeah. That's me. So you recently tweeted that you spoke to Austin Knight, and he said that you should have cussed in Better. But you said you'll be saying fuck in the new song. Can you tell us anything about that?
I was like, I'm not going to cuss anymore. I feel bad. Like, we have fans that are older. We have fans that are younger. But I was like, as our fan, like I would say the median of our fan base was getting younger. I was like, I feel so bad singing Benjamin Alphabet with these people. Like everyone's saying the F word at my shows, and like I feel like I would just look at parents and be like, I'm so sorry. Like I know what I'm doing. And so I talked to Austin actually while we were on tour, and I was like, I'm not cussing anymore. I'm not gonna cuss. I'm not gonna say any bad words. And so that's why Don't You Want to Be Glad has no bad words. Which I think Never Nothing has like one or two. But yeah, I was like, I can't do it. And he was like, dude, like, just do it. Just make a radio edit. Courtney was pushing me too. But I was like, nope, not doing it. And so I just went to make the song with Mark. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to cuss. I'm just going to let myself feel the emotions I'm feeling and let the words come out. And if it's a cuss word, it's a cuss word. And so the song has, I say the F word in the song a couple times.
Damn.
Cool.
But yeah, I actually texted Austin. I was like, this is your fault.
It's all his fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So, okay. So sorry. Everything my brain is off right now. But anyways, speaking of new songs, you also said you started writing for SW3. Is there anything you can tell us? Anything at all? Like anything you can leak? Maybe.
No, I can't. Okay. That's one thing I'm not gonna. I won't. But there will be. Let's say this. There will be. There will definitely be features on the record because I had so much fun making this song. I Want to Be Cool. Like I don't know if that was like. It's not going to be our biggest track. It's not going to be. I think the one everyone remembers in 20 years, but I'm proud of it, and I think it was fun, and I love creating with other people because I'm new to it, and so there will be features all over the album. I don't understand how people are on like album 5 without any features. I'm like, I just want to make music with other people, and if I love their voice, they get to be all over it. So that's one thing is there will be features, and there will be a lot of co-writes. So I usually don't write with other people, and I'm working with Tyler Four Names to write with some people. So
cool. That's exciting.
Gotta
that's
be collaborative.
Big. Yeah, that's big. Awesome.
Yeah, trying to develop a sound,
Yeah, awesome. So we just spoke to Happy like the other day and asked them what their favorite Pastel is Emo tour memory is, and we wanted to ask the same question to you. Do you have like a memory that sticks out from that tour?
Good question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got to take an RV, which was so cool.
Yeah.
I would say the best memory would be I'm pretty like reclusive when it comes to touring. I'm just pretty reclusive in general. I try not to be, but it's difficult for me. And so I didn't spend much time with everyone, and I feel really bad about it. I do that every tour. I'm like, I'm going to hang out with my friends. And then I like sit in the car the whole time. I'm like, I'm going to lose my voice if I don't like avoid. Hanging out with Happy was amazing. They're so awesome. Hanging out with Chapel was amazing. Hanging out with all the teams. Like, it's not just the bands. There's like merch people. There's, you know, tour managers. Like, it's a whole group. It's a pretty sizable group. But just hanging out with everyone, hanging out with Jess, obviously my wife, is the best thing I get to experience in my entire life, especially bringing her on tour. But yeah, I would say them being excited really was an amazing experience for me. Like, that was the memory I left with, was just like, our rooms weren't always the most packed, you know, our rooms weren't always sold out, but they were still excited to be there. And getting to see that, like the headliner we did 2 years ago, the openers were disappointed that the rooms weren't packed. And I was like, we're not a big band yet. I'm just trying to tour and have fun. Like, I'm sorry. And I felt like I had to be really apologetic over that. But it was amazing that Chapel and Happy were appreciative, even though the rooms might have not been always the most packed, that they were just really enjoying being there. It's funny, I will say, 2 years ago, that tour was called the Happy to Be Here tour, and no one was happy to be there. And on this tour, everyone was saying, literally everyone was like, thank you, Skylar, for taking me. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm like, that's so funny. This tour is like called Pastel Zemo, but like everyone is saying the old tour name to me. Like, I'm so happy to be here. So just the appreciation and like the fact that everyone was enjoying themselves was very, very important to me. And I left very happy. So yeah.
Good.
I'm glad that everything worked out and you got a good group of bands that actually appreciated you bringing them out on tour. So do you have any pre-show rituals before you go out on stage?
Chase and I make up one like every single night.
Okay.
I love Chase, but we just like are dumb. A lot of times he'll have like he brought Tati on tour, his girlfriend, and obviously Jess was there, and so a lot of times he will be sleeping the whole day or just hanging out with Tati, but then like the like hour before the show or like the 30 minutes before our set, we'll like reconvene and just hang out. He does a lot of jump rope. He's like very physically fit. I'm not, so I watch him jump rope.
That's your workout.
We'll just be stupid in the green room and like get excited. He likes being really pumped. I don't, because I have anxiety. And so if I get too pumped, I get nervous. And so I try to pretend like I'm not about to go on stage. And so he's like, dude, get pumped with me. I'm like, no, let me watch you get pumped and let me like do my breathing exercises and do my vocal warm-ups. Like, so this last tour, that's actually one. I started doing vocal warm-ups so I didn't lose my voice, because I've lost my voice on tour and it's been very embarrassing. So I started using an app and just like practicing my warm-ups, and he jump ropes. And that's pretty much it. And we make sure we have our in-ear monitors and our packs, and the click is ready, and we both have water. That was a big thing. We didn't bring water bottles on tour. We tried to do a no water bottle tour. So we made sure our canteens were filled and stuff like that. So that would be our ritual. Pretty like, just make sure that the show is going to happen type of thing.
Make sure you're all ready.
Yeah. Okay. No like handshakes or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's still cool though. It's good.
It's very peaceful.
So what are your top 3 songs to perform live? Like, you really look forward to those on the set list?
It changes a lot, you know? Like, I think that when playing, I used to just be like, what's going to make the crowd excited? And now I'm like, I'm just in my little world up there. And if people are excited, that's cool. And if it flops, like, I had fun, and like, that's almost as good. I love playing Windows in the World End because it's hard. And we mess up sometimes, but I'm proud of it because it's like, I feel like it tests my skills as a musician. Chase and I will leave the stage after the show and he'll be like, dude, my wrists hurt so bad. Like, it's just a hard song to play. The drummer that wrote it is like just a beast. And so we just It's a fun one. I'm really proud of that song. I love playing Catherine with a K because you know what song it is when I first start playing it. So I like wait to play. I'll finish my like what I'm saying, and then I'll hit the first note, and people are like, "Ah!" and like freak out.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's really fun. Yeah, it's like every single show. We played a show, and the sound guy was being a butt, and like we were way past our set times because it's like 8:15, that's when you play, or like 10:15, that's when you play, and he was still setting up mics and was like, I can't figure out the drum mics, and it was like 15 minutes into our set, and we only had a 30-minute set, and so I was like, dude, like, come on. And so I literally, like, he was so frustrated with us because he's like, you guys just don't get it, and was like being really rude and really disrespectful. And I was like, man, I really just want to play. Like, I'm sorry, I'll just start if you want to just keep working. Like, I don't know what's taking you so long, what's going on. But I just started playing Catherine with a K, and the whole audience started singing the song.
Damn.
With the mics weren't even on yet, and so the whole audience was just singing. I was like, this is so fun. Like, I get to have this moment. Those two. Third, I just like playing the new songs. So like Better is really fun. Some of the shows, everyone knows the words to Better. People have been like, oh, it's so lame of me. So like, Better's my favorite song, and that's so lame because that's like the most popular song. I'm like, I have the most popular song. That's so cool. Like, you can, that's the song that everyone likes. I've never had that before. Don't take that from me. Like, you can like the lame one because everyone likes it. Like, does that make sense? I've never had that. I've never had that's the one everyone likes moment. So we would play it like 2 or 3 times. Like, we would play it and then be like, thank you, and then finish our set, and people were like, one more song, and then we just play Better again. And then we'd play our encore, but I'd be like, it's so much fun that everyone like knows every word and like screams it, that I was like, let's just play it again. And it's hard to play Someone Somewhere Somehow without like, it's like such a sad song that I want to bring it back up, so I just keep playing Better.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, I like that.
Awesome. Yeah.
So this is like a really deep question, so I apologize in advance. But like, so where do you see your band in the next 5 years?
I don't know. Is that a good answer? I have no idea.
That works.
We get that answer a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would be arrogant to say that I'm going to be playing stadiums. I think it would be arrogant to say that I'm going to be any bigger than I am now. I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok, and TikTok's growing so fast. Like, I got 16,000 followers on Instagram over the course of like 3.5 years of being on Instagram, like the band Instagram. TikTok's gonna break 10K tonight or tomorrow.
Congrats.
And I've been using it. Thank you. I have had it since November, but I've been using it regularly for 2 weeks.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
So,
TikTok's that new platform.
yeah, I'm trying to. From that, Melancholyism has gained 57,000 monthly listeners just on that song alone.
Wow.
So, which is a big deal in 2 weeks. I'm like, wow, like this is really reaching people.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trying to like see just how far that can take me. Even though like we're in quarantine, like releasing a song with Mark Hoppus and working my butt off on TikTok, I'm like, I think we can level up by the time the quarantine's lifted. Like, I think we can actually like sell out every room. I think we'll have fans in the UK. Like, I think we will. My goal is to hit 100,000 followers on TikTok by the end of the year. And I know people that have done that in 4 months. So I'm like, I want to grow this thing as big as it can get, and I'm not going to stop. I've had friends that are like, yeah, man, like, I don't know about songwriting. Like, I'm not comfortable with that. Stuff like that. I'm like, I want to do everything I can to grow my business. I want to do everything I can to feed my family. I want to do everything I can to help my fans. And so whatever that looks like in 5 years, I know what it's going to look like by the end of the year. I know my like personal short-term goals, but you know, I think releasing a song with Mark and growing TikTok is what I got in the immediate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Congrats again on the TikTok. That's fantastic. Honestly,
Yeah,
that's huge.
Thank you.
Huge.
That feels like blowing up. I'm like, whoa. I'm like on track to hit like 50 by like mid next month.
Good luck.
Wow.
I hope you do.
Oh my god, yeah.
That would be
you deserve
insane.
that. Yeah.
Thanks. It's weird.
Yeah. So for the last couple questions, do you mind if we pull away from music?
That's fine.
All right, cool. So if you were on death row, what would your last meal be and why? With a drink.
With a drink.
With a drink?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified of jail. I'm terrified of being bad. So, can I just tell you a meal I like?
Yeah,
sure.
yes, yeah,
of course.
that's better.
That
yeah,
works,
that's good.
Oh, that's, yeah. I really like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
I
definitely.
eat like a college kid. I love easy. Oh, no, I have an answer.
Okay.
For quarantine, I've eaten quinoa
Ooh.
with eggs, chopped chives, and sriracha
Ooh.
almost every single day.
Yeah.
1 to 2 meals a day.
Okay.
Sometimes I add tofu. It's my little bowl of happiness, and I love it very much.
Yeah.
So that'd be my answer for that. For drinks, I really like. I'm of age. I drink a good amount of whiskey with my dinner, and so I like good whiskey.
Okay.
Good.
So
Awesome.
I'll say good whiskey or good wine. I've been getting into good red wine.
Yeah. Awesome. That's a great meal, actually. I haven't heard that one. I would like to make that someday. All right, cool.
You should.
Yeah.
Use veggie stock in the quinoa. It's game changer.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to try that next week. Thank you. Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I really like Adventure Time.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
So somewhere there. I don't know if you've seen. I think it's called. Oh, I don't even remember what it's called. I like cartoons a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Clarence. I used to be obsessed with Clarence. His world seems pretty sick. Just to be a kid again sounds awesome. I really like Sanjay and Craig. The artist who did Sanjay and Craig on Cartoon Network actually was going to do Television, the cartoon music video.
Oh.
We were talking, and we ended up going with someone that Hopeless chose. Eat the Danger is his name. But anyway, I love Sanjay and Craig. I love that artist. I actually met him, and he got weirded out by me being a fan. I was like, dude, I love your cartoons. He's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, calm down. He came to one of my shows, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Fanboyed out.
Oh, I freaked out. And he was very weirded out. So cartoons, any cartoon places. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Solid.
So this is sadly the last question, but it is definitely the most important question. There's no doubt in my mind that this will not take over 30 minutes. Anyways, though. So what's your favorite color?
Okay. That's a loaded question. Just kidding.
I know.
I like pastel. I like pastel colors. I really like light, like soft colors. I would consider myself an emo kid. That's why the record is called. That's why like pastel is emo. I was like, I'm gonna make a really like colorful record because like emotion is a spectrum, but also like I just love pastels. I'm gonna make like an Easter egg ass record and like make it emo, and I'm going to tell people that pastel is emo. Like emo Easter was how it used to be called, and now it's called pastel is emo. But I love pastels, and I'm like, I paint my nails. Like I think being soft is great. I think being cute is great.
Yeah.
I love green. Excuse me, my voice cracked. I love greens. I love green a lot. So like a pastel green is my favorite color of all time. My phone case is pink. I think pink is cool. But I like green a lot. Like, I don't know why. I don't have like synesthesia, but like my birthday is August 6th, and I think of green when I think of my birthday for some reason. Like a light shade of green.
All right. It's a very nice color. It's very soft.
Yeah. Big fan.
So that is all the questions we have for you. Is there anything you would like to plug?
I have a question. How long have you been doing this podcast?
Since October.
October.
You said
Yeah.
October?
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank
That seriously means a ton.
That means that means the world.
Yeah, y'all are doing a really good job. It's really
Thank you.
cool. I don't know. I don't really have much to plug. I mean, as much as I have going on, I don't have much going on. I think all the artists that I've mentioned, if any of you are a fan of Super Whatevr, like, please go check out Veins. He's incredibly talented. Check out Hush, like Deep Cuts. Check out 1994, where I got my inspiration from for Super Whatevr. Like, everyone I've mentioned, 1975, Frank Ocean, all those people, like, dive into my brain and like find what I like, because that's what excited me about different artists. Like, if you want to know what to expect for the next record, like, do your research and just
Okay.
Awesome.
That's my answer. Nothing to plug.
All right.
Just listen to good music.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for sitting down with us, Sky. This has been Sky from Super Whatevr, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.